Simple as this. If we are going to dish this public wrath out on people where we give them no mercy, we have to be consistent in how we apply it. If we are not going to do this with David Bowie, when we have the same body of evidence, we have the victims or the young women who say that this happened. We have more than one. We have their full accounts saying that they were stoned and they were 14 and they did this together with David Bowie and all. We have all of this information. If we are going to destroy R. Kelly over his behavior, then surely we should do the same thing. So I'm not saying, one thing I'm not saying is that we should we should go easy on anybody, right? I'm saying if we're going to unleash this public wrath that we do so frequently, it should be consistent across the board.
Okay, so the reason I hesitated in December is because I didn't want to talk for you. You say your point's better than I could, but to that extent, then the wrath in which we're giving Bill Cosby is thus warranted, because or do you want us to defend, or do you want us to give some space to David Bowie the same way you had wanted the public to give Bill Cosby?
Again,
because
and I
that's
think,
where I'm coming from.
I think, again, and I'm glad this is coming back around, because I think a lot of people still have a misconception of what I'm saying with Bill Cosby. I'm not saying give Bill Cosby any space. I'm saying be consistent with our outrage. We cannot defend and protect people who are guilty of almost the same exact thing in terms of the law, right? In terms of the law, it is almost equivalent. Statutory rape is almost equivalent to non-consensual sex rape, right? In terms of the time you get in prison, depending on the state, there's small variations. But then we're actually talking about apples to apples, right? Let's throw Bill Cosby off the table. With R. Kelly and David Bowie, those are apples to apples. And I'm saying we cannot, if we're going to be a just society who's going to exact our public rage on people, then we must be consistent or not do it at all. So if that's exactly what I'm saying. And I think this is so clear and evident, especially in the media, because the media is not talking about this at all. And they have the same access to the same internet that I have.
Okay, I'm just going to leave on this point. I wouldn't quite easily throw Bill Cosby off the table, not so much because of the content of the crime per se, but the reason I'm bringing this up to you is because I understood that you weren't trying to not admonish, like you weren't trying to clear Bill Cosby of anything. You were just saying, and I remember this clearly, you shouldn't try to tear down the goodness of what he had done. And so now you saying that we shouldn't,
to be honest with you,
go ahead.
To be honest with you, I haven't quite finished saying what I was going to say. So let me finish saying what I was going to say, and then I
just feel like there's a dissonance. I'll leave now. I just feel like there's a dissonance between how you want to stick up in some way for Bill Cosby's legacy and not so much for David. I'll keep listening to this show.
All right.
Yes, go on.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And I'm glad you can watch via YouTube. That's important because I'm getting several tweets saying that YouTube is down. Okay. So with Bill Cosby, I will say that, and I'll still say this with David Bowie, right? David Bowie is the perfect muse, if you would. And I know he's dead, right? And I know people are mourning, and I respect that. But it's the perfect example of selective outrage and people wanting to remember his legacy, people wanting to remember the good things about him. But there is a serious problem when we can remember the good things about some people who are just as guilty as the next person. And so we have this weird intersection of selective outrage over men who have done and women who have done despicable things, right? I don't think there's anybody who would disagree that what David Bowie did is as despicable as what R. Kelly did, right? Some people may have different levels between Bill Cosby. Let's take Bill Cosby off the table. But with David Bowie and R. Kelly, They have both done they both did some really despicable things. And so the question is, are we going to be equally as outraged? Are we going to bring did any of you even know this? Let's start there. Did any of you even know that David Bowie could have been charged with statutory rape, but the statute of limitations passed? How many people even knew that? And that to me speaks that we have a selective justice system here where some people can get away with murder. Some people can get away with statutory rape and other people cannot. And this is not a defense for those who can't get away with it. It's simply a conviction of the people who do get away with it, as well as the media, who is very complicit in this entire thing. Should people still celebrate David Bowie? I would say yes. And I'm not trying to tear him down. I'm simply pointing out this glaring contradiction, that we would venerate him, we would lift him up, protect his legacy, while so willingly, just 2 weeks ago, they destroyed R. Kelly on the Huffington Post interview for the same exact allegations. So that disconnect is very, very troubling to me. And whether you want to celebrate him or not, that's absolutely up to you, right? You should do as you see fit in terms of how you want to celebrate.